Ngabokhala uJehova wakho uzokunqobela Thula sizwe ngabokhala uJehova wakho uzokunqobela Thula sizwe.
Our first black female Vice Chancellor, Prof. Tandi, may your soul rest in eternal peace.
There are moments in the life of a university that divide time. Moments that leave a permanent mark upon its memory. Moments when a community stops, reflects, and remembers. Today, Sefako Makgatho Health Sciences University pauses, not merely to mourn a leader, but to celebrate a life of scholarship, a life of service, a life of courage, a life dedicated to expanding the possibilities of others. Today, we remember Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus, a scholar, a leader, and a vice-chancellor who challenged us to imagine a greater future for this institution.
When Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus assumed office of Vice-Chancellor and Principal, she did so at a very defining moment in the life of our institution. SMU was navigating complex challenges, facing intense public scrutiny, and confronting difficult questions about its future. Now, many leaders would have spent their first months seeking shelter from those realities. Our Vice-Chancellor, however, did the opposite. She stepped directly into them, and one of the earliest defining moments of her tenure came within days of her appointment, when she appeared before Parliament alongside members of her executive management and council representative during a period of significant public attention and institutional reflection. It was a moment that would have tested even the most seasoned of leaders. And what stood out for me was not defensiveness, it was clarity. At a time when many were focused on what SMU had been, she challenged us to focus on what SMU could become. Rather than becoming consumed by the weight of the institution's challenges, she focused on the possibilities ahead. She believed that while history should be acknowledged, the future still had to be built. She believed deeply in the potential of SMU and consistently challenged us to see the institution not through the lens of its difficulties, but through the lens of its possibilities. Her tenure was brief, but she gave this institution something incredibly important, and that is belief. Belief that SMU could be bold, belief that SMU could lead, and perhaps most importantly, the belief that SMU's best chapter is still ahead, and that it is ours to write.
When Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus accepted the responsibility of leading SMU, she inherited more than an institution. She inherited a dream rooted in access, a dream rooted in transformation, a dream rooted in producing healthcare professionals capable of changing Africa. But she also inherited difficult questions, complex realities, institutional expectations, national scrutiny, and a university eager for renewal. Rather than retreat from these realities, she embraced them.
There are moments in the life of a nation when an institution steps into its purpose fully, clearly and courageously.
That moment had arrived, and she intended to lead it. Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus refused to think small. Her vision extended beyond maintaining an institution. she sought to transform it. Under her leadership, landmark infrastructure projects were launched, international collaborations expanded, research partnerships strengthened, strategic relationships deepened. New possibilities emerged. Within a remarkably short period, the university began to move with renewed purpose. Partnerships were strengthened, opportunities expanded, and confidence in the institution's future began to grow. Every engagement reflected the same belief that SMU belonged among Africa's leading institutions. Every transformative leader eventually faces resistance, questions, criticism, scrutiny. Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus understood that leadership is tested not during applause, but during adversity. When difficult questions emerged, she did not hide. She engaged. When criticism came, she listened.
One of Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus's greatest strengths was courage. Not the courage that reveals itself only in moments of triumph, but the courage required to lead through complexity, uncertainty, and scrutiny. She never allowed difficult moments to define her. Instead, she confronted them directly with honesty, dignity, and a commitment to what was best for the institution. What I admired most was her ability to remain focused on the bigger picture. Even when faced with immediate challenges, her attention remained fixed on the future of the university, the success of its students, and the contribution SMU could make to society. She understood that leadership is about confronting difficult decisions and making them with integrity, compassion, and conviction. Professor Tandi believed deeply in this institution. She believed in its people, she believed in its potential, and she led with a determination to ensure that SMU would continue to grow, evolve, and fulfill its purpose. That belief and the example she set through her leadership will remain part of her legacy.
Titles often tell only part of the story. Vice-Chancellor, Professor, Principal, Leader. But those who worked closely with her knew another side, a listener, a mentor, a friend, a confidant, a woman who believed leadership begins with humanity.
Many people experience Prof. Tandi the leader. They saw the Vice-Chancellor, the academic, the strategist, the visionary who challenged us to think differently about what this institution could become. I had the privilege of experiencing Prof. Tandi, the person. She came into my life as a colleague, vivacious, energetic, insightful, and driven. Yet what began as a professional relationship quickly grew into something much deeper, a genuine friendship. Perhaps it happened because of the circumstances we found ourselves navigating together in moments of uncertainty, complexity, and immense responsibility. We leaned on one another. Through it all, Tandi had an extraordinary ability to bring clarity to difficult situations. She could cut through the noise and confusion with remarkable wisdom, helping those around her find perspective and purpose. What many people may not have seen was her kindness. She was thoughtful, compassionate, deeply principled. She cared about people in ways that often happened quietly and without recognition. She took time to listen. She offered encouragement when it was needed most. She made people feel seen, valued, and capable of more than they believed possible. Professionally, she entrusted me with responsibilities that reflected her confidence in me. Personally, she gave me something even more meaningful, her friendship. In all my years, I have rarely encountered someone who was so generous with their trust, so unwavering in their support, and so sincere in their belief in others. Yet beyond all her achievements, beyond every title and accolade, there was one role she cherished above all others: being a mother. She spoke often about her children, Ondi, Tamar, and Tejas. Her eyes would light up whenever she spoke about them. She once told me that being their mother was the most important role she would ever hold, and was the greatest joy. To her husband, Rajiv, and to her children, please know that the love she carried for you was profound. It shaped who she was, it grounded her, and it remained at the center of her life. Even amidst the demands of leadership, Tandi, my boss, my dear friend, I respected you professionally, but more than that, I admired you personally. Your absence leaves a space that cannot be filled. You are missed beyond words, remembered with immense gratitude, and loved far more deeply than many may ever know. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your leadership. And thank you for the gift of having known you. Until we meet again, rest gently, my friend, Prof. Tandi.
For many students, the Vice-Chancellor's greatest impact was not felt on a podium or in a boardroom. It was experienced in conversation, in encouragement, and in the simple act of being seen.
What made Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus so special to many students is that she had a way of making us feel seen. She knew our names, she made us feel important. In whatever she was doing, however busy she was, she had a way of making sure that the conversations we're having with her felt important. That is a rare gift, and that is how most of us will remember her.
What stood out most about Prof. Tandi was that she never spoke about potential as an abstract concept. She saw potential in people, she saw it in students before they saw it themselves. She challenged us to think bigger, to believe more deeply in our abilities, and to recognize that our circumstances did not define our future. Through her encouragement, her leadership, and her confidence she placed in young people, she inspired many of us to pursue excellence and to believe that we could make a meaningful contribution to our communities, our professions, and to our own country.
At the heart of Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus's leadership was a simple conviction that universities exist to change lives, not simply to confer qualifications, but to build futures, to expand possibilities, to strengthen society. She believed deeply in the promise of every student who walked through the university's gates, and she never stopped reminding us of that responsibility. Legacies are not measured by years, they are measured by impact, by ideas that endure, by lives transformed, by futures altered, by institutions strengthened. Professor Tandi Matsha-Erasmus's journey was shorter than anyone expected, but her impact will remain visible for generations. In the buildings she envisioned, in the partnerships she forged, in the students she inspired, in the institution she challenged to become more. Her vision did not end with her. It lives on in the ambitions she ignited, the confidence she restored, and the future she invited us to build together. Today, we do not simply say goodbye. We say thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for believing in the possibility of this institution. And thank you for reminding us that the future is not something we inherit. It is something we build together. Because of you, the work continues. The dream continues. The responsibility continues. And so does the future you believed was possible.